What's up, Yardballs? Welcome into The Oddity Shop, the podcast where we
tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarre stories from around the world, and the bizarre is always on sale. How
are you?
We're doing terrible at this. Who are you?
Oh, we did this last week too.
I know.
I'm your curator, Kara, with your other wonderful, beautiful, handsome, amazing, funny.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
I have nothing else. Curator Zachary.
Kara.
Yeah.
I love your tan. You look so good. I mean, right now we're not that tan, but for when you guys are listening to this, we are super tan. We just got back from 5 long nights and 6 long days in Mexico, Jamaica, and
don't ask me. My husband and Carlos planned it.
Somewhere else on a cruise, and it's hopefully going to be an amazing trip. We're just back from it now when you're listening, so ask us how it went. What else? I don't even think we got to how are we. How are you?
I'm fabulous because I'm tan. We just got back from a cruise. No, just kidding. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Okay, so last week I was telling you about how excited I am for beanie season, but do you know what I'm even more excited for?
Stuffing?
Sweater weather, baby. It is crew neck season.
Sweater weather.
I've been working on my crew neck collection. I do have some more to buy. I only have a handful, but that's what I'm leaning into right now. So if anybody needs, like Thanksgiving, Christmas ideas, crew necks all the way.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
But it is coming up on Thanksgiving too. So like we're getting in the grateful mood. What are you grateful for?
Why did you ask me that? I'm not prepared.
I'll ask you next week. Think about what you're grateful for.
This is the one thing that I'm always grateful for. Delilah.
I mean, your pup is a good. I was driving. I've been meaning to tell you this for days. I was driving and this person was walking like 2 long-haired baby spotted wieners down the road.
They're dapples.
I'm sorry. I don't know the wiener language like you do. But they were so cute, and I tried to take a picture while driving and almost crashed, but I tried for you, and I want you to know I risked my life to get you a dog picture.
Listen, don't crash for a wiener.
I mean,
or do, honestly.
There's so many jokes we could go down there. I got a long one. Do you want to just open the shop?
Yeah, but what do you think the statistics are for people crashing for a wiener, not the dog? Think about it. Not you.
Oh, I'm sure it happens all the time.
Right. Okay. Question. Okay. What's my
Think
question?
about wieners while I ask you the question. All right, opening the shop up with this, and this has nothing to do with the episode I'm going down, but have you ever seen the show Severance?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, the premise of it is that there's a program where you can basically like split your brain so that there's a work version of you and a home version of you, but neither one of them has memory of the rest of it.
Give it to me.
So that's the question is, would you do what they did on the show Severance? However, remember, it's the same body, though.
Yes.
So that means whatever work you does to you to get back at you, because their entire existence is working. It's still you. You just don't have memory of it. But all that part of you, all they do is work.
Well,
the recreation you wouldn't remember that.
Yeah, but aren't you only working like 8 hours? Like you're working a normal day, theoretically.
Right. But they are only conscious when they're at work, that side of you. And then the other side of you is conscious when you're not at work. So for the work version of you, their entire consciousness is working.
I think this would be like maybe the equivalent in like the turmoil and the things that like actors go through because they abuse their body in the roles that they play, because it's literally like you're putting yourself through emotions that you're actually not. So like your brain is trying to protect you because you're like, if you're doing like horrific roles or like the mental abuse of a role, like your brain's putting you through that. So I think that would be the equivalent of that, like where your body is still going to feel it. Like your brain might, your brain might know that it's false, but your body still feels emotion. So I think it would be the equivalent of that. However, I already feel that anyway. So I'm going to choose it.
So Julia loves the show. I watched a couple episodes with her and I was totally on board with it until one of the worker people was very upset with the other side of themselves and got out the paper cutter and cut their own fingers off, or threatened to. I didn't watch that far, but like they can also destroy you. How are you
upset with your other self if you don't know? Like you don't.
Same body. The brain shuts off. Your brain is split. So like if work you cuts off work you's fingers, you doesn't have fingers.
Why the fuck would you ever cut off your fingers?
To get back at the other. I don't know.
But if you're not conscious of the other, why would you fucking start the episode like this?
I just wanted to see what kind of brain fuck we could do. Okay. Anyways, do you want to jump into it? Quickly before we move on, phone line is open and Kara's got the phone number.
I do. It is 616-320-4935. And one day we're going to memorize that and I won't have to look it up. But until then.
Ding, ding, ding. And the other thing, just a quick little reminder, first 5 people who sign up for our Patreon, we're giving away a giveaway that's going to happen by Thanksgiving, so time is running out. Okay. This episode, Kara, has been requested multiple times via write-ins, comments on Spotify.
Oh, really?
I've tried to figure out the angle. I have been wanting to write this for a long time. I think I might either change a few people's minds or make a few people upset, but I've got a really fun oddity for you.
Oh.
I'm not going to come out and tell you exactly what it is.
So you're telling me that, because I'm sorry, I don't have like our login for our Spotify, so I can't see the comments, but you're saying that people have commented this on Spotify.
On Spotify on our episodes have requested it. They've written in on the website and requested it. It's been requested multiple times.
Wow. Okay.
I think I know that you know what this is, but I also, if you have strong feelings, just
calm them down. That's hard for me.
I know.
It's a big ask.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
In Jewish folklore, there is a belief that evil spirits, and evil spirit is a key word here. Notice I did not say anything beyond evil spirit.
My nostrils just flared.
Have the ability to roam the earth, and these evil spirits can enter a living person and can attempt to break or cleave their soul and take them on as a host. So the person who this evil spirit is entering can present with mental illness. They can slowly kind of become not themselves, and their actions change, their psyche, their relationships, right? They become not quite themselves. Now, I want to be really careful here and not use the term possession, because this is not a possession. Possession always has demonic notes to it. Like I said, we're focusing on spirit. The idea is closer to an attachment that one could get from not being careful while interacting in a haunted place. Okay, so
like antagonizing.
Think more attachment, less demonic possession.
Okay.
Now, these spirits do have a name. We're just not ready for it yet.
Okay.
But they're created when a person passes away. They've committed too many sins to be laid to rest and have their soul go on to the afterlife, right? So they can't cross over as normal. So instead, right, because of the vast atrocities they committed while alive, they're forced to roam the earth.
I think I know where we're going. I'm excited.
In this lore, it's actually interesting the way they break it down, because it's not even that they're truly spirits of a person that are dead. It's the trapped soul, right? It has nowhere to go. It can't cross over. It can't leave this realm. All it can really do is look for a new host, right? Now, the host also has to be attached to, and I found this interesting, is they have to have a large sin that they are keeping a secret. So a secret transgression does make you susceptible to these evil spirits. Okay. So what do we call them, Kara? What are we talking about here?
I don't want to be wrong, so...
That's okay.
No, I'm not in the mood to be wrong.
Throw me a guess.
No.
Okay, well, the next words are, that's right, Kara, a Dybbuk.
Thank you.
We are talking Dybbuks. Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to be wrong. This is so you and I, because when I was going through my list to write my next story, this was on the top of my list.
Good. It hasn't happened in 2 years.
I know, but that's why I didn't want to be wrong, because I'm like, what if I'm so excited? I'm like, this is on my list. And then it's not that.
Okay. So, Hebrew word, Dybbuks, it very specifically means case of attachment, a human attachment. It's not demonic. I get that out of the gate here right now. These are trapped souls of just not good people. Okay. The oddity we're going to actually talk about is not the Dybbuk itself, as I'm sure you've put together by now, but an object that has gained popularity in the last decade, 2 decades at this point.
Yeah.
And it would be a haunted object that everybody loves, or everybody loves to hate, the Dybbuk Box. Okay. So a Dybbuk Box, it's usually an antique wine cabinet, and it's sealed shut. Before they started opening them, they sort of scanned them to figure out what was in them, right? But usually it's things like chalices, candle holders, maybe a lock of hair, a Jewish prayer, all very ritualistic things. And this box is supposed to hold one of these trapped souls. So they're supposed to contain within them a Dybbuk. So somebody has done the work to trap the Dybbuk into the box so that spirit can no longer wander and find new host. Okay?
Yeah.
So, like Pandora's box, you don't want to fucking open this thing because there's an evil soul trapped inside that is trying to attach itself to you.
What's the movie about this with the hot actor?
It's called The Possession.
The hot dad?
Yep, it's called The Possession, and we're going to get into that movie.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay. What's his name? He's hot. It's not Gerard Butler, but it's the one that looks like him. No. Oh my God. It's
Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He is hot. Yeah, that's Denny from Grey's Anatomy. Denny with his LVAD wire.
Oh, well, he's married to Hilary Burton, who is the lead actress of One Tree Hill. Bitch.
I even pulled in some of your favorites. Okay.
They're a hot ass couple, y'all. Let me just tell you. Anyway, go.
Perfect. Back to the evil spirits. So the general belief here, right, is that Jewish people had found a way to no longer be tormented by their local Dybbuk through prayer, and I'm assuming drinking lots of wine and lighting candles to lure the thing in the box, give it some offerings, trap it, slam it shut forever in some sort of vintage vessel to protect anybody else from being harmed.
I love how you told me to keep my rage.
I know.
I'm trying to be calm.
However, once the Dybbuk is inside the box, it might not all be a easy peasy lemon squeezy, as people like to say, because those who get close to it still have a lot of Dybbuk-like attachment events happening to them. Okay. Some people become catatonic. Some people become angry and enraged, much like I am talking about this thing. Some puke blood. Some have a string of bad luck that happens. Similar to like a Robert the Doll, right? They seem to have the curse, the bad luck, the ability to ransack a room and nobody else is there. Some have even claimed to hear voices coming from the box, and there are EVPs, literally evidenced EVPs coming from these things. I think, though, to truly understand the Dybbuk box, we need to follow the chain of ownership of the most famous box of all time, which if you don't already know why it's famous, you will when we get to its final owner. Okay, are you ready? Chain of command. Let's go.
Yes.
In 2003, the world's most famous Dybbuk box now is discovered by a man named Kevin Mannis. Kevin is a writer and a recording artist. So he acquires the box at an estate sale of a 103-year-old Polish woman who has passed. She spent time in a concentration camp. She escapes. The granddaughter who's running the estate sale tells Mannis that after escaping the Nazis, she hid in Spain. She got involved with a group of Jewish women, and this is where she acquired the box. The granddaughter also tells Mannis that her dearly departed called it a Dybbuk box. She leaves him with a very vague warning that it is never to be opened, and if you do, you'll let the Dybbuk out. Now, Kevin has no idea what a Dybbuk box is, what a Dybbuk is. He thinks he's buying a cool antique box. Because not only is he a writer and a recording artist, but he refinishes furniture. Okay. He gets home and does what any sensible person would do, and he immediately opens the box.
Yeah, because,
Because why not?
It's like when somebody says, don't look, you're going to fucking look.
You're going to look. Okay, so he finds several items. A wheat penny, a 1925, and a 1928, so 2 wheat pennies.
Oh.
A small lock of blonde hair.
Ew, weird.
1 small lock of black and brown hair. A granite statue engraved and gilded with Hebrew words shalom. 1 dried out rosebud, 1 golden goblet, and 1 very strange black candlestick holder that had, like, the legs of it are the legs of an octopus.
How big is this box, would you think?
2.5 foot tall by 2 feet wide. It's a wine cabinet. Basically, it would hold a couple bottles of wine and a couple wine glasses.
I was going to say, because I feel like when people think of a Dybbuk box, they think of like a little small box.
They can come in all shapes and sizes. Yeah. Most of them are
larger.
The wine cabinet. Basically, if you think of portable minibar. Now, you're thinking, I know the one you're thinking of. You're thinking of Corey Heinzen's box. It's a little treasure box about, I'd say football size with a chain around it.
I'm just thinking like all the listeners of all the YouTube videos that you watch, it's a little tiny fucking little trinket box. So yeah. Okay.
We'll get into that. There's a bunch of Dybbuk
sure.
boxes out there, but we're talking about one specifically for now. Okay.
Oh, God. Enraged.
Yeah. So he, like we said, does the refinishing of furniture. So he keeps this thing in the basement of his shop. So one day he leaves the shop. He runs out on an errand. He gets a call from a frantic salesperson that somebody is in the shop in the basement swearing and smashing things.
Oh.
Mannis returns to the shop to find the lights in the basement were broken and the room is filled with a stench of cat urine, but nobody's in there and the room is ransacked.
That's specific.
Yes. So the employee leaves and never comes back. Kevin goes on to try to refinish it as a gift for his mother. She came by the shop to go out to lunch with him. He gives it to her. And according to Mannis, she becomes totally unresponsive in almost a catatonic state. And unless given a spirit board, she wouldn't communicate at all. And with the spirit board, she would only spell out hate gift.
Hate gift. Did she get a gift recently? Because she fucking hates it.
He gave her the box as a gift. Anyways, so Mannis.
So you're like,
I'm like, are you listening? No. Mannis.
Oh my God.
He decides it's too dangerous to have around the shop. So he gives it to his sister, which I think is hilarious. This thing's too dangerous for me. Here you go. She promptly makes him take it back after 3 days because it's making her whole house smell like cat urine. And she says it's negative.
So weird.
Cat
urine?
What a...
Like, I mean, I guess it could have been pissed on by cats, but that is so...
well, I think they're trying to say that this
smell.
Negative Dybbuk inside is creating a aroma that people don't love.
Yeah, but to relate it to cat urine is so specific.
Ooh, fair. So Kevin takes it back home. While he has it at home, he began to have nightmares. One where he's walking with a good friend and he looks into the friend's eyes and sees something evil looking back. And the friend turns into a demonic, gross, hag-looking thing that tried to beat him up. Then he'd wake up with bruises on his body. He would see shadowy figures in his home, the smell of the urine permeating through everything, and breathing on his neck. The horrors for Mannis go on and on. When he realizes he can't give it to anybody in his family, he takes the baddie box and throws it up on eBay. So 2003, remember.
The trash human.
Okay, well, I think the thing too is eBay in 2003, like haunted objects were kind of a big
Was it
deal.
Promoted as a haunted object?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, if it was, then cool. If it wasn't, trash.
It was because that same year then in June, it's bought by Losif Nitschke.
Okay, then I take back my statement.
Yeah, no, it was presented as a haunted object on eBay for sure.
Perfect.
So Losif buys it, and after 8 long months of insomnia and illness, his roommates force him to put the box back on eBay. Twice the price, though. He sells it for $280, which was originally $140.
I'm sorry. It is so funny that, and now it's even worse. Like, haunted objects are way more expensive. But it's wild that you're trying to get rid of an object because it's tormenting you, and then you are able to sell it for like twice the amount that you paid for it. It's just funny.
So it's gone from Polish woman to Kevin Mannis to Losif. Losif has it for 8 months, and then it's bought for double the money by the professor of one of Losif's roommates. So Losif's roommate is talking about this thing in class. Professor goes on eBay and scoops it. Okay. This professor, Jason Haxton, he's a smart man. He works not only in the university as a professor, right, but he also works in a museum. And he claims to immediately have experiences with the box as well. So when it first arrives, he breaks out into hives after touching it, which goes on to him coughing up and then choking on blood while he's seeing strange lights and shadows around the object. So direct quote from Haxton. The day it arrived, I put my hands on it, and it almost feels like the thing collapses into a liquid state. I felt like a knife was coming into my gut. I was paralyzed in pain. When I go to bed, I have terrible dreams of a hag that seems to come with the box. Okay. Mannis talked a lot about this box and tried to drive some notoriety around it before it went on eBay. So now there's notoriety. There's a list of experiences that have been had by more than one person. So he wants to see, kind of sets out to figure out what the darkness trapped inside the box means. And he enlists scientists, paranormalists, Kabbalists, and Wiccans to help him do rituals to put the box in a more manageable state so he can keep and research it. So for a time, though, when it's still acting up, he keeps it in a secure box of acacia wood lined with 24-karat gold and stash it in his den to keep it subdued as part of the vice of the Wiccans and the Kabbalists. Kabbalists. So when it wouldn't calm down, however, he admits to putting it into a military-grade shockproof container and burying it somewhere in its yard where it's well hidden and won't be discovered.
Sounds legit.
Right? After years of research on this thing and getting people involved, now it's getting very popular. Okay. So he seems to land on this answer, and it's vague. He says he thinks it was so active because, kind of like we were talking about with locations last week, it feeds off the energy of the owner. If given negativity, it spreads it. If given positivity, it spreads that. Therefore, he's basically stating that whatever this thing is a neutral amplifier of energy.
It's like an egregore.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, he does always sort of claim, though, that there's a demon inside of it with his experiences and stories and stuff, right? Mannis also says this. Remember the lore, though. These are bad spirits. They're not fucking demons. Okay. So Mannis has it from 2003 to not Mannis, Haxton has it 2003 to 2011. In 2011, he writes a book called The Dybbuk Box, in which he sort of leaves it as we leave all of our episodes with, we'll let you decide what it is. We might never know, but he leans, it's like he's trying to convince you this is an evil entity, but he never wants to lean so far into it that like skeptics won't question him.
That's smart.
He then kind of goes back and forth, though, about this thing it being the evil box that he keeps buried in his yard in a military container, to at times calling it his literal fountain of youth that he's given so much positivity to that it keeps him young and healthy. Yeah.
What?
He's a strange guy, but we have to give him credit for making this box wildly popular. Okay. So this is where, right, he works with press and does all these things. The movie The Possession comes out about the Dybbuk Box, right? His book gets promotion because of it. So, I mean, this thing is now right in the center of the paranormal world. The next thing you know, everyone else is coming forward with their Dybbuk Box and their wild reports and everything that they do.
Lord.
All right. So now, right, movie, book, notoriety. This thing becomes a haunted object collector's wet dream. So enter Zac Bagans and his haunted museum. All right.
Oh, the rage.
I know. Zac finds Haxton and his box and has him on an episode of Ghost Adventures. And in 2016, the box was unclear, either purchased by Zac or donated by Jason. Different articles say different things. Depends on who is telling the story on whether it was purchased or donated. And it also depends on when they're saying it. So basically, Haxton says donated. Bagans says thousands of people were offering to buy it, and he had to give the highest price because if he turned it down, it would just be unethical because only he knows how to take care of it. We love Zac Bagans around here, obviously. So it gets put into the museum archives as one of the most haunted objects in Las Vegas in his paranormal museum. What's your thing?
I was just going to say, like we talked about with Lauren, it started out so good.
Yeah, it did. Till you become a power-hungry money grab who cancels everybody else. And okay, whatever.
And now you're dating a Playboy bunny for the second time. I don't know.
All right.
But that Playboy bunny is amazing. Oh.
Let's go to the website for the haunted museum.
Let's go!
The Dybbuk Box is known as the most haunted object in the world. Surprise, surprise. The Dybbuk Box has been claimed to have been responsible for multiple deaths, a stroke, and cursing famed musician Post Malone. Okay, let's talk about this. I could not find one record of a death. I couldn't find a stroke.
Yeah, Posty.
And the curse of Post Malone came from an episode of Ghost Adventures in which Post Malone and Zac were fucking with the box. It was a Halloween special.
That's an actual thing, though. The Post Malone curse is an actual thing.
When we get to the end, you tell me how this box cursed him then.
So
hold it. Okay, so here's some quotes from Zac himself about the special he did where they were going to open the box. Mind you, they never fucking opened the box. The Dybbuk Box knew that I was going to be opening it. So I wanted to see if there was going to be any kind of things going on before that. I believe that the Dybbuk was causing my production to fall apart during that moment. After removing the glass case surrounding it, he set up the cameras and he captures like footage of a mist manifesting out of it. And he says, I wasn't attacked. I wasn't harmed. I just felt something. I felt power to it. To me, it felt good, he says of his encounter with the box. Hold on, you're going to get even more mad. I believe that it doesn't affect me as bad as it affects others because it knows that I am its owner.
Oh my God.
Yes, the ancient Dybbuk in the box respects you as its owner. Okay. It was a rush. I just felt a warmth through my body. I don't know if it felt like I was crossing over or something. It had an influence on me. It was feeling kind of like I felt in the demon house. My blood pressure.
This, I don't know if I can call him a man. This clown is so made for TV.
Yes.
And entertainment.
Bring back Lauren again, right?
Listen.
He does one thing very well and he knows how to entertain.
He is the Paris Hilton of paranormal.
God, I wouldn't even give him that much credit.
Because Paris Hilton is actually amazing.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like she
turns it on. It's a whole personality. It's a whole shtick.
Persona.
Right?
This man, here's the thing. I've never met Zac Bagans. And honestly, I'm not opposed to meeting him, to be honest. And I don't know if he's actually as big of a D-bag of a person as he portrays himself to be, but man, does he know how to turn the goddamn entertainment on. Holy shit.
He's very good at entertaining. We'll give him credit where it's due. So anyways, though, now Zac has the evil demon box that you have to sign a waiver if you even want to see, right? But it doesn't affect him because he has power over the demons.
Yeah.
Record of at least 3 previous people with terrible things happening with them around it. Hundreds of people popping up online with their own Dybbuk boxes of things happening around it. We have rumors of death. We have books. We have movies. Cult-like following around the Dybbuk box, okay? Mm-hmm. So, questions for you. What do we really have? Is this a haunted object? Is it a neutral energy amplifier? Or, Kara, do I have more evidence for you on why I hate this thing? And especially how much money Bagans makes off of it with his marketing about it being the most haunted, horrible object ever. I'll give you a hint. It's the fucking last one.
I was to say, you want me to go with the last one?
Yes, because that is exactly what the fuck this thing is. It is a cash grab. Okay. So Bagans still has it on display with all the incredible claims. Okay.
All right.
Let's go to the controversy. In comes a man named Kenny Biddle. Kenny writes a damning article. It's linked below. Read it. Very well. Very well done. Biddle.
Okay.
Yes. So he talks about the whole chain of command, right? And takes a really close, his, not a blog, but I guess his journal, his portfolio is called A Closer Look. So he dives into science and parascience things and gets down to the nitty gritty. He brings a skeptical viewpoint to everything. He's very clear about his bias when writing. Okay. So he goes through all the history, all the accounts, presents a ton of evidence, but he finds in the book that Haxton has written, there's photos. There's photos of 2 boxes side by side in which Haxton describes he had a replica made of the box for when he did press tours or for this movie and for other things. But there are some distinct differences in the wood grain, the granite statue inside, and some other things.
Okay.
So then he starts to watch all the specials Bagans does on it, and he can't prove this, but he is 99% sure based on what he can see on the statue inside of it and the wood grain on the back that multiple times Bagans is using the replica. So whether he has both or Haxton still has one buried out back and he has only the replica, we do know at times he has displayed and used with not 100%, but a very high probability that he has used the replica.
Yes. Okay. I have heard that. Okay.
It gets worse, though.
Kenny
provides the most damning piece of evidence from Mannis himself, the first owner, but we're going to take a detour before we talk about that. You know, I love Haunt Me. Haunt Me was a guy and a couple women from Maine who had an online ghost hunting channel. They're amazing. They bring such a holistic view to things with, they have a witchcraft, a historian, and a ghost hunter. They're great. It's all online. Go watch them. I love it. I wish they still made videos. Anyways, in 2015, so during the time Haxton owns it before it goes to Bagans, they're doing an episode with Greg and Dana Newkirk as special guests.
Okay.
In a haunted location, right? They're bringing in people who have the haunted museum, the Traveling Museum of the Occult at that time.
A lot of people in this episode. Goodness.
I know, it gets better. They bring in yet another guest who has a very special haunted object, and this is Corey Heinzen, at that point the owner of the Conjuring House, with his Dybbuk box. So the whole thing they were trying to do an experiment on was to bring a haunted object into a haunted location and see if they can, with the witchcraft that they do and then the scientific approach, get some evidence.
Up some stuff.
Because this location was supposed to be able to be amplified with other haunted objects. And I'll say this, they're one of the ones who get an EVP off of Corey Heinzen's box. Now, mind you, this box we're talking about, this is not the one in Bagans at all. This is just another Dybbuk box. Okay. After that episode airs, on the Haunt Me Facebook page, which is now, the page isn't deleted, but this post is deleted. But there are screenshots because whatever you put on the internet lives forever. Right? Is this following post from Kevin Mannis.
Yep, this is going to enrage everybody.
The person who bought the box from the Polish old lady. Well, the dead Polish old lady bought it from her granddaughter, supposedly. I am the original creator of the story of the Dybbuk box, which appeared as one of my eBay posts back in 2003. The idea that Dybbuk boxes have some kind of history prior to my story, and the idea that a Dybbuk box could contain anything other than a Dybbuk, along with any deviation to the type of contents I created to be found inside a Dybbuk box, is laughable at best. How about this? If you or anybody else can find any reference to a Dybbuk box anywhere in history prior to my eBay post, I'll pay you $100,000 and tattoo your name on my forehead. Okay. Let's go back to the top of the episode. What was Mannis's profession other than furniture and recording? Dude's a damn writer.
I was going to say, wasn't a writer.
He could do the research. Dybbuks exist. The lore of a Dybbuk exists. The lore of them being trapped in a box with these items did not exist before 2003. Okay, go on. You got a point.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I could not, in my opinion, have worn a better shirt for this episode. And you're probably like, what? It's my Avril Lavigne Greatest Hits Tour t-shirt that I'm wearing. And the reason that I'm saying this is because, like everybody that was like, oh my God, Avril died, that was a false blog post that everybody blew the fuck up and made it a thing. And people still think it's a conspiracy that Avril is not Avril.
It's infuriating, dude. The worst part, though, save your theories. We're going to talk theories. The worst part, that post came out in 2015. Zac is still 9 years later claiming that he has one of the most haunted objects ever that somehow took a life. I did my own research. There's no mention of this thing before 2003.
No, there's not.
Zac makes a shit ton of money off this and other proven duplicate, replica, or fake objects in his museum.
Okay. Tell me when I can go.
We are so close.
Okay.
So obviously, Zac, he's not going to back down on this. He's going to double down anytime somebody tries to tell him it's fake. But look at everyone, right? Mannis was trying to jump on the viral haunted objects. Why would he not make this? I mean, he made $140 by putting trash in a box. Haxton writes a book and gets a movie made and gets notoriety. Zac makes a fuck ton of money. Okay? We have motive now. Hit me with your thoughts.
Hit me with your best shot. All right, here's the thing, and you're going to be mad at me. I don't think Zac Bagans is lying. Zac just had to take an extra gulp of water.
Go on.
Because it is like an egregore, however you want to say it. It is a manifestation, a thought form, your intentions, your everything that somebody prescribes to. Everybody's thoughts, feelings, fears, things like that go into this fucking box, right? So maybe he has the actual box that he bought from these people. Maybe he has the replica. Maybe he has both.
It doesn't fucking matter which one he has.
I don't care.
They're both fake.
They are fake because it's not a real thing. And that has been proven many fucking times. However, the Dybbuk box still lives on. People buy Dybbuk box all the time, right? So like Sam and Colby have bought multiple Dybbuk boxes and then opened them on their Reacts channel. Twin Paranormal they've bought Dybbuk boxes and then just brought them to haunted locations, just like we just talked about the Newkirks bringing them to the Conjuring House, right? Conjuring House.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think that the Dybbuk box now can be a false thing. I think that it is a box of intent. I think that Bagans has a lot of haunted objects and things in his possession. I think Zac Bagans himself is a fucking haunted entity. He's a wild fucking entity. His energy, I swear to you, I actually do wish that one day we meet him, because I cannot imagine being around the energy that radiates off of that fucking
Absolutely.
man. I can't imagine.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
So I do think that Dybbuk box was made up. It's proven it was a made up thing, but I just feel like the energy that was made up in the story, the people that read the story, the people that bought it and believed in it, and everything, their fears and everything that went into the fucking box itself, right? The particles of that box. I do fucking think that now Dybbuk boxes are a real thing. I do. And I just...
They're that fourth haunting that you and I always love to talk about, that intentional haunting.
It is my favorite, because I feel like that is the most common that we don't necessarily want to believe in. We want to believe in our ancestors. We want to believe in this and that. I think the most common fucking haunting, and I've talked about it so many times, my fucking belief is the fucking energy. It's energy.
It's the living. It's the living are haunting.
We fucking haunt ourselves.
So I am totally with you on that. And I do think that, I mean, the box, Newkirks have gotten evidence from Heinzen. These are people we know and, or not know, but we know of and trust, right? Where my problem lives and my anger comes out so strong is that you could say, okay, the paranormal community, right, is fighting so hard to ground something in science, just to give explanations that people outside of the community would accept. Then you have this man and men, a list of them, who are all saying, this is a demon box, it's killed people and caused strokes and cursed this person and that person and blah, 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 without having any evidence to back up the claims. Yes, things are happening now, but those things did not happen. Now you are also taking people who are involved in the community already, paranormal community. You're taking their money, while at the same time you're squashing other creators who had great products, but because of your power and influence, you're squashing them. You are making people believe in this object. You're making them go spend money, and you're furthering others to keep creating these objects. They are a real haunted object based on lies.
Yeah.
And that's where I get so angry with this thing. And that's where it's been requested so many times. I'm like, how do I do this? And we're just going to present it as it is.
Here's what I will say. We're going to pull from our wonderful bestie, Lauren, which, for those of you that are wondering, we do have a group chat with Lauren. What is it called now? What is it called? Intergalactical
Space Babes or something?
Oh my God, I love her so much. So we do. Interdimensional alien space babes.
Perfect.
But to pull from Lauren, she said it in that episode so perfectly and eloquently. But science and paranormal, they're just not, right? Like you just...
Right.
So yes, you're right. We're fighting for it, but it'll never be a thing.
It will never be a thing, right? But
to also pull from Dana Newkirk, you have to do your research, right? So you have to find, find like 3 articles and watch 2 videos, or I can't remember which says pull 3 articles and listen to 2 podcasts about it. Like you can't just go off of
the hype
person. Like you just can't go off of a Zac Bagans character, right? Like you can't. I don't want anyone to think that like we totally fucking hate Zac Bagans. Like we're just
he
knows how to
I think he's created entertainment. I think where my anger comes with him is that he is squashing other creators.
Yes. And that's why I don't necessarily like him, but I cannot tell myself that if I wouldn't have met that man, I wouldn't still geek the fuck out, right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So I think that it's just that you have to maybe find more humble, reliable sources and not necessarily the entertainment aspect of things.
And that's a perfect lead in for the final quote that I have for you from a really good source.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
So this is how Kenny Biddle ends his article. This is our skeptic closer look guy. So is there any validity to the Dybbuk Box being haunted or inhabited by an evil spirit? Absolutely not. The evidence leads to the conclusion that the Dybbuk Box is nothing more than a vintage minibar that began its journey into the paranormal by a story created in 2003 by a professional writer to boost his eBay selling price. The box's reputation was propelled into paranormal pop culture by later owner via a published book and later a movie. Today, it sits in a museum with paranormal celebrities claiming all sorts of pseudoscientific paranormal activity associated with it, completely ignoring the fact that they've been duped by a hoax. Zac Bagans claims that the Dybbuk Box is one of the most haunted objects in the world. He seems to be, at least on the surface, deathly afraid of opening the box for fear of something evil coming out. I would like to sincerely offer my services to Mr. Bagans. I will happily open his Dybbuk Box for him. Think about it, Zach. How cool would it be to show a skeptical guy like me how insanely haunted the box is and not a hoax, as all the evidence concludes. Also, Kevin Biddle does own a Dybbuk Box now that he is filled with spirits, and it is the bar in his home.
I love that.
Alcohol spirits.
So I do want to play devil's advocate, if you will, though. I do think that Zach really does believe and feel that that is the most haunted object in the world or in his world. I really do think that. And I think that it could very much come fucking close to it, because what year was that? 2003. So how many years of all of us believing and all of these people visiting the museum and it being passed and it being talked about and the movies being about it? I really do fucking think that it probably is.
I think it has become that.
Yes.
But we have to know that Mannis and Haxton never actually had evidence. Mannis said he made it all. Haxton, there's no coughing up blood.
No, I believe that. I believe that that it did not start out that way. It was just this fabricated story to make money, to see what would happen, however you want to push that. But I do think that now it could really very well be a very haunted object. Now look at it. A Dybbuk Box is never a real thing. And now there's Dybbuk Boxes fucking everywhere. And yeah, I think some of them are really fucked up and they're really bad. Would I ever buy one? Fuck to the no.
So oddballs, listen, save your damn money. We're saving you money on the Dybbuk Boxes here. Respect them, appreciate them.
I swear to the God that I don't believe in that I thought you were going to say, so oddballs, send Kara up Dybbuk Box.
No.
Fucking lose it. Well, they don't know how to send it to me, so.
There we go.
Except for Mariel. She's the only one that has my address. Don't fuck with me, girl. Do not fuck with me.
Oh my
Swear
God.
to God. That was a good one.
Thank you.
I couldn't have done it.
You know, it needed to be done. I appreciate everyone who wrote it in. If you wrote it in and you did not know some of the things we did tell you, I am sorry if I crushed you a little bit there, but you know, we all have to educate ourselves a little bit. And yeah, that's the story of the Dybbuk Box. The world's most haunted object.
The nut thereof, Dybbuk Box. Zac Bagans, please don't come for us. I really do, actually.
He'll be trying to cancel our podcast next.
I want to go to your museum. I do want to go to his museum.
I do not. I have no want to ever go there.
All right. Well, I'll go by myself.
You can go through that one. Yep. That one is not going on the road trip list. I'll go gamble. I'll get my gambling in. You hate gambling and you can go to the museum.
What's going to happen is one time we're going to blow up and we're going to be invited. And Zach's going to want to go. And I want to say, fuck you, bitch, you can't.
Much like Will's. All right. I'm going to stand on my ground and not go out of principle.
Listen.
Y'all can come for me in a couple of years when I put my foot in my mouth. Don't worry about it.
No, that's okay. You can. And you can stand your ground. I'm just... Zac Bagans fucking annoys the shit out of me, you guys.
Oh, so annoying. But his show is fun to watch for certain reasons.
Like I said, Paris Hilton of Paranormal, man, he's fucking figured it out. And we can't all say that we never watched it and we didn't enjoy it.
We all did. Here's the thing. If it was just the show...
He turned out to be an ass.
Even though it's fake, I could get behind it, right?
He turned out to be an ass.
Do... He's an ass and everything's a demon. If it wasn't for what he's done to other creators and buying out his way as producers onto their shows to get it canceled,
you're right.
That's where I draw the fucking line.
That is really fucking shitty. But I'm just saying I would never... Okay, actually, let me preface this. I would never pay myself to go to his thing, but if I were ever invited,
There
I'm
you
fucking
go.
going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going.
Fair enough. I think that's fair.
All right.
All right.
Wow.
I don't even know. You know what? Wine glass. There's got to be a wine glass emoji. These are wine boxes.
Oh, that's a good idea. Or there's a little treasure chest emoji. Treasure chest and a wine glass. That'd be cute.
Treasure chest and a wine glass. That's how we know it's a Dybbuk. But yeah, that's all I got. I think we're ready to start wrapping the show up for the day. What else do you need to do before we close the shop?
Well, everybody send good vibes because I have to go make like pumpkin cheesecake things for a party tomorrow, and it's already 11 o'clock at night and I work in the morning. So just, put some vibes in that it's going to be okay. By the time this comes out, it'll be weeks and weeks ago, but it doesn't matter. Give me the good vibes. Okay, so wine glass and a treasure chest. What is today? We don't know. Thanksgiving's coming up. Have a great
Thanksgiving is 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, so we're thankful for you. We appreciate you. We love you. All those things. I fucked it up last week and now I'm really scared I'm going to fuck it up again. So the most important thing that you can do for us is to creep it real, oddballs.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.